All right, we here. Welcome to another episode of Versus Mike History. I am your host, Michael History. We got some good people in the building. As always, we got Jamar on the boards. We got Ramsey in the building. What's good? And we got a special guest today. How about you introduce yourself?
Yo, it's Druwop, 1/3 of Litty Boyz International, creator of streetwear brand Chances Make Champions. What else? Creator of KwakuSpeaks.com. Currently do digital marketing at 300. Intern over there. Yeah, it's a lot going on. That's pretty much it.
What's good, my guy?
What's going on, bro?
All right, so we got you in here. You are a man of many talents.
Hey, man, I try.
A lot of shit going on. I'm in here to talk to you about all of that today. I want to take it back to the beginning. As always, I do that with everybody. And, just start with, like, influences and where you're from and how that plays a part into where you got to today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm from Somerset, specifically Franklin, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I moved there when I was like 4, and I just spent like my entire life there. So lived in this neighborhood called the Grove, and then we moved, eventually got a house when I was like 9. And just spend most of my time like being outside, but also being on the internet.
Word.
Had that like, I feel like we're kind of in the last generation that had like a healthy balance. You know what I mean? Of just being outside and interacting with people.
For
also
sure.
like the whole blog era of rap was kind of like coming up while we were in our adolescence. So I think I was just like lucky enough to find everything I find cool now like early. So
Word.
I was just real into, like the internet culture and forums and sneakers and like streetwear around that time. But I was also a kid that was like well liked by a lot of groups in our neighborhood. So as far as influences, is like, I don't know, I can go down a rabbit hole when it comes to that about how many people I like. But I could say like my first CD and like just go from there. Like the first CD I ever bought was Food and Liquor.
Okay.
And then I went and bought like King by T.I., then the Young Dro album, then Lil Boozy.
Okay.
And then like Hove. So it was like my taste was just like everywhere. I didn't really have the restrictions of like just being on the East Coast. Like so I think my curiosity just sparked a lot of me searching and going after things. And
now that makes sense though, because like Southern rap really popped in the early 2000s. Like,
yeah.
And it became like really mainstream. So like I definitely feel you, especially with the King album, because that T.I. album was like,
yeah, he had the movie.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah,
he was on the map. What would you consider yourself though, like in terms of designer, director, producer, all of that shit?
Man, that's tough. Like talking about titles is something I have to do now. Just like introducing myself and like being around a whole bunch of different circles. But man, yo, I wrestle with this because like I gotta narrow it down to something. Because I'm just now noticing that I do a bunch of stuff, but the only reason I do so much is because like out of necessity. Like like I said, I founded Litty Boyz International. It was a creative content company. I founded with 2 of my partners, Kyle and Niles. But it was just like
Shout out to the guys.
Yeah, shout out to the homies. It was just the 3 of us. Like I said a while back, I tweeted, I was like, yo, we don't get any help. You know what I mean?
Word.
Like no one comes and brings their arm around our shoulders. So a lot of what we've had to do has just been off of just like surviving in just necessity. Like Niles does graphics, I'll run the socials, and Kyle has his brand, and we all just built that off of the podcast that we had in 2016. And the podcast ended up doing so well, to our surprise, that we just decided to branch off into other things. And even like solo, like all of us are starting to find our lanes into our careers. Like Kyle just dropped again. As I mentioned, I do digital marketing. I'm a digital marketing intern at 300 Entertainment, and I do my brand. And then Niles also is doing graphics for everyone else. So, man, I'm a guy that just does what needs to be done. You know what I mean? Yeah,
no, I definitely can relate to that because like I've worn so many hats on this journey that I'm on. Like I've been a designer, been a producer. Honestly, I like to just go with the simple term as producer because like even as a plain content creator, like I always fund my shit. Like I always got a camera, I always got a soundboard, I always got the fucking Photoshop on my computer where I could do my own graphics, I could do my own sound, I could do my own visuals and shit like that. So I definitely can relate to you on that level. But you was talking about Litty Boyz and how you guys came together and like you guys spawned different projects and stuff like that. And I always thought it was like fucking crazy because when I came across you guys, it was just like it always just seemed like a well-oiled machine. And I just wanted to know, like, how did you guys meet and like how did that come together?
I met Kyle first. Me and Kyle were following each other because we knew, like, you know, Jersey is small. Like, everybody knows everybody, so it was just mutual people. So the homie, shout out to the homie Rami, his big brother had a brand called Jersey Apparel. So they had a pop-up. And I first ran into Kyle, like, real brief, yo, what up? We recognized each other. And then from then, I would just see dude everywhere. So I'm like, this guy's everywhere I'm at. Like, let's just talk. So the homie had a mixtape release party in New Brunswick. And that's when we really, like, just, like, went outside. We talked about, like, yo, let's try something. And I met Niles later at Kyle's house. So once we noticed, like, the synergy between the three of us and how well we got along, it wasn't even like we didn't even start nothing. It was just like, yo, let's just kick it first. Like that whole summer, it was just us three. Pulling up on people, going to people's events. Like that's how we started to build our name up, I guess. And just getting cool with everybody just by like supporting other people. So when we announced it, actually before that, I tweeted hashtag Litty Boyz International on some joke stuff. And Niles saw it and he was like, yo, I'm gonna make a cover for that. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it. So the following morning, he DM'd me a whole bunch of like just graphics with Litty Boyz International. I was like, yo, these are hard. So I was like, all right, let me tweet it and see what happens. So I tweeted it.
Shit went crazy.
Yeah, yo, at that point, I was like the most retweets I ever got for some, like ever. And a lot of people I know now noticed those graphics then. And they was like, yo, what is this? And when I couldn't give them an answer, it was kind of like, okay. We have to start something. So that was like in August, and we kept saying, "Yo, podcast coming soon." And it was I'm trying to remember who it was specifically that like it was I think Jan Snee, I think. Shout out to her. I haven't met her yet, but shout out to her.
Word.
But
Friend of the show.
Yeah, word. Okay, oh wow, you know what? That's where I recognize you from. I guess we could get into that after, but she was like, "Yo, y'all keep saying y'all about to start the show. Like, when's the show coming out?" And I was like, oh, she's right. So, like, a couple days later, Kyle was like, yo, I'm about to do the long sleeves.
Word.
And we did this whole, like, money do-rag shoot with the long sleeves.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we dropped it on the same day as the episode. So it ended up just going crazy. And we were like, oh, okay, cool. Like, let's just keep this going. Like, granted, we didn't know what we were doing at the time. We were just, like, our guests were, like, people from the timeline that we hadn't met yet.
Right.
Because we wanted to like get in person and like meet people instead of just keeping it on the internet.
Word.
So that snowballed into us just getting our names up and us still doing what we're doing, popping out, shaking hands. And eventually, I want to say around like closer to 2018, we were like, okay, Kyle clearly has a way of doing creative direction.
Word.
I can handle more so like the management of our socials and things of that nature. And now knows how to do our graphics. Like, let's just expand this into something else where we can help other people.
Facts. Everybody has a rule.
Yeah, exactly. Help other people do what they want to do. And from there, it's just that's what we've been trying to do. We started 2-3 Zone, which is on hiatus right now, but you know, we're working on that. But that's more of like the agency side of Litty Boyz. And Litty Boyz is honestly just an umbrella that we do everything under. So my brand is under it. Kyle's brand is under it. We have a couple producers that are under 2-3 Zone that's under Litty Boyz. And yeah, that's basically it. We got our LLC like I want to say top of the year, like real early. So you know, it's like now we kind of took this year to like individually get our career stats, and then next year we're gonna come back together.
No, that's hard.
Super team.
So you guys got together, and then you guys started the podcast. Let's talk about that for a little bit, because you guys, that was a nice little run, and you guys really like, you guys with the podcast, you guys voiced your opinions really well in terms of developing your brand and just getting people to know who you are. And when you guys started branching out to do your own thing, that was like the anchor that I feel like people really could go back to and be like, all right, well, this is where they started, and then this is where I'm getting to know these people, and now that they're branching off, I can figure out like which lane, or like I can follow every one of them individually. And you guys did, especially with the visuals, like even before I got involved in on any type of level, you guys were fucking moving, and I just thought it was really dope. So just speak about how like the podcast came together and yeah.
How the podcast came together. Man, it was all a joke, bro. Like we weren't like I try to emphasize
Word.
like that part of the process. It wasn't really we weren't really serious because we didn't know what we were like getting into. It was just like you cool. We all cool with each other. We all ended up being cool with everyone else and making like this big circle. So let's just like try it out with the first episode and see what happens. And the first episode was like it was so unorganized, bro. Like our talking points were like all over the place, but people enjoyed it. So it was kind of like, okay, like let's do the second episode. The second episode we had, it was just us three again, and people enjoyed that too. So we just started paying attention to like the analytics of what we were doing early and who was listening and how people were starting to tune in. And as far as like the visuals, it was like that wasn't really shot professionally. We were just when we see stuff, we like visuals attached to it. So we're like, we might as well get like the person that the studio we're going to, like, yo, take this video real quick, and then I'll like edit it. Like I'll just learn how to edit it on the fly, like on the app on my phone or something like that. And so like, yeah, that's pretty much how it started. It just started off on a whim. We didn't recognize what we were doing until like later.
Yeah, it was just real organic vibes, like, and you guys all like basically was interested in the same shit, so the conversation kind of just flowed naturally.
Yeah, right.
Now I know that like it's interesting too because like I don't even remember how I came across you guys, but after a certain point that you guys were doing a podcast, I came to you guys and I was like, yo, I want you guys to be a part of the network. And then it came a whole bigger thing, and like I feel like that could have went better than it did.
For sure.
Just because like you guys had a team, so you guys were operating more efficiently than I was because I was just doing this shit on my own. But I just thought it was funny because Niles was away in the military at the time.
Yeah, he left and then you came in. It was so weird, like a week like separated before.
Word. Yeah, I just thought that was I thought that short era was very interesting because like it taught me a lot about just having a team and like keeping a machine working and moving, and you know, for a while it was good times, but you know, everything doesn't last, and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, you gave us our first hosting joint.
Yo,
it's so funny. We didn't even host the joint for real. We just came and we just macked like the whole entire time, but it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. That shit. A lot of lessons in the past 2 years I've learned from just trying to like be my own boss.
Word.
But meeting you guys was definitely like a great opportunity because it just like you guys were like the first people that I met that were kind of like on the same type time in terms of like, yo, we're moving, like we're learning as we go at the same as you, and I thought that was really cool. But moving on to the 2-3 zone, you said that it's on a hiatus right now.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be in an A&R leg of the whole brand altogether.
Yeah, more so like just an agency leg per se. So like it provides different like avenues or routes of like needs that an artist might need for the time. So if they need A&R work, then that would be like my sort of division of the agency. And if they need more so like creative and art direction, that's Niles and Kyle and our other graphic designer Rich. Shout out to Rich.
Word.
So it's like whatever you come to us with a need that you have at the time, that's what we're gonna try to like fulfill at that moment.
Makes sense. So do you feel like, in terms of having a team, do you feel like it's helped in this process and this journey? Like to the point that you've gotten to thus far, like how influential would you say that Kyle and Niles have been to this point?
Man, very influential. Like those guys, like we started as friends, but those guys are legit. Like we're brothers now. Like we've seen each other's ups and downs, like outside of just Litty Boyz, but like personally and how we've grown. So, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now or learn as much as I did because I want to say from like 2016 to now, if I did it by myself, my learning curve wouldn't be as fast because I wouldn't have anyone to like build upon or pick up my mistakes or also tell me when I was like messing up. So, you know, just having them to fulfill, because when you have a team and they fulfill their role, you don't have to worry about
That's a fact.
what that person's doing. He kind of just does what he needs to do. I can hit now. It's like, yo, can you give me a graphic about in like 2 days? Be like, bro, I'll get that to you tonight. You know what I mean? It's like, and Kyle would just be like, yo, you know, when we do this photo shoot, we should do it this way. Like, I got the mood board right here. So it's like, I don't really have to worry about those two angles of things. I just have to worry about how we're going to push it on social media, which I feel like I'm good at. You know what I mean? So just having a team is like, when you do anything, you might, not even might, like, it's necessary at this point because, like, you can't do everything yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't dribble the ball up the court yourself. You're going to get trapped. You know what I mean? You can't D all 5 people that's coming at you. You know what I mean? It's a team effort to get the chip. So, yeah.
Word. Yo, I'm not going to lie. Right now, you giving me mad alleys to, like, my segues and shit.
Word? That's dope.
Because you talk about basketball and shit. My next topic was chances make champions. And I just wanted to talk about that briefly because you, like, it kind of came out of nowhere. And I thought it was a dope idea in general. And I wanted to know if it was more so like you really starting to put your foot into the like streetwear world, or if it's more so like a community based type brand where you like bringing awareness. Because you know you got the Emmett Park Legend handle on Twitter, and you know I just wanted to know because some people, you know, they just like have bigger visions in terms of their brands, but from what I've seen so far, it seems like it could go either way.
Right. Yo, to be honest, for me, it came out of nowhere because I was trying to do a brand for a minute, but I feel like the hardest part was just finding a name. Like just finding a name that encapsulates like where I'm at in life now, but also could be a way for other people to relate to just seeing the name and being like that, attracting them to the brand. So, I think I got the name from like a Currency song. Like I was listening to a song and he said the line. I just kept repeating it. And I was like, oh, this is tight. Like no one else has used this yet? All right, cool. So what I did really, like my thought process of that was really like, let me just announce it. And based on the response, I'll follow through with it or I'll just like put it on the back burner. So I announced it and people were like, yo, you about to do this brand? Oh, we good?
Yeah.
Okay, where we good? My fault.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
All right, where? Yeah, I announced it on IG and people were like, yo, you about to do a brand? I bet. So when I got the response, I'm like, oh, damn, I gotta follow through with it now. So
Word.
really, as far as what I feel like the brand could do, a lot of the streetwear that I'm into or the brands that I follow, they ended up being more than just brands. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I knew the founders of the brand because they were so expansive and how they expanded it to like their community and even other communities and other passion projects that they had maybe before they even thought about clothing. So I definitely want to merge the two, like community work and also the brand because I'm a guy that's like, I love where I'm from. You know what I mean? I'm passionate about my community. It's also like, it's a community that's small, you know, not many people make it out of that in the space that I'm trying to be in.
Exactly.
Outside of like, there's a few people, but the most notable person is Jinx, Brandon Jenkins. He's from Franklin, yeah.
Shout out to Jinx.
I didn't even know that until I was a senior in high school. You know what I mean? Like
I just knew he was from Jersey.
Yeah, that was like a vague fact, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like any way for me to like even Emmett Park Legend. Emmett Park is a park right by the crib that's like a 5-minute walk, if that, that I hooped at from like 12 to like 23. You know what I mean? Like my adolescence to my adulthood. So that holds like a special place in my heart. And then Legend's just like me trying to like manifest that. Like I'm trying to become a legend, not only just in my neighborhood, but in and contribute to like the culture that I love. So, you know,
you were nice.
What?
And ball.
Yeah.
I'm just making
I would say that. I would say that.
Very confidently.
Okay.
We was like, you know the deal. Like we was like kids hooping up like with kids way older than us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that was like our thing. Granted, like I'm gonna come clean. I'll tell you a story. Like in middle school, right? I tried out for the team. And I made the second day. I'm like, oh, this is easy. These is chumps. Like, all right, cool, whatever. The second day comes, and I'm playing my heart. And granted, I practiced the whole year up until this point, that whole summer. And then I got cut. And I was like, bro, what? Like I almost lost it. Like,
Yeah.
so the next day they having a scrimmage. Nah, it wasn't even a scrimmage. It was like intramural. It's like after school. I'm like, all right, who? I'm like, who's here? Who's picking up? They're like, everybody that got picked up on the team. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take 4 of my dudes, and we're gonna go against like the 5 or whatever, or whoever's on the squad.
Word.
And we smoked them. And the coach was there.
Word.
I was like, all right, nigga, like you know what I mean.
Word, yeah.
But after that, he didn't really like nothing. Like I didn't even try out for a team because the pride was so real.
Yeah.
That I was like, all right, I'm not even about to like focus on this. Like so, yeah. I was for sure.
So you just clapped them and then left. That was it.
Yeah, I was for sure. It was like Jimmy Butler shit, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like it was basically like that.
Yeah. He said, "Fuck that! I'm about to smoke these niggas."
Yeah.
All right, I guess we can move on to listener questions now. I got a couple here from Khalil. He wanted to say what's up first and foremost.
What up?
But yeah, he said he wanted to know where did you get your inspiration for clothing from?
Man, just like I feel like the streetwear boom from like 05 to probably like 2011, 2012, like that gap is when streetwear started to become like popularized because really it's from skating.
Word.
And skating's like subculture. It's not really
Facts.
that popular, you know what I mean? But during that time, like you had guys like Pharrell that he had his skate team. I remember having the DVD. He had the
Word.
skate team, watched that, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then you have BBC, but BBC leads to like other stuff like Stussy, the Hundreds, 10 Deep, and then you start going like deeper and deeper. So, yeah, bro.
The Karma Loop era.
Yeah, exactly that era. Like you only get
Yeah.
a coupon if you order $150 worth of stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
they was trying to rape niggas' pockets.
yeah.
That dude had a crazy story though.
Word.
What was the owner's name? Do you remember him?
I don't remember the owner's name
I
now.
forget his name, but he had a crazy story. He went into like $200,000 in debt, like running up credit, trying to
Word?
start that company.
I believe
I
it.
bet.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's
Like the way they
200K.
ran it, was crazy. It was just
Word.
like I don't know how sustainable this could be, but it like
Facts.
that era was cool. Like they had Karma Loop TV to go with it and everything.
Right,
So,
right,
like,
right.
yeah. So yeah, that's definitely where I got my inspiration from. That whole era.
Yeah, look him up. He's a pretty cool dude. I used to follow him on Twitter for a while. I forgot his
Word?
name though.
I was about to say what's his
I'll
name?
look it up right now. Go ahead,
Alright.
continue.
I guess another one is what made you want to work in music and fashion?
Man, I saw. How old was I? When did Fade to Black come out? 04?
Yeah, 04 or 5ish.
Fade to Black was that was
03, 04?
03. It was 03.
Damn.
Yeah, I was 8,
Mm-hmm.
and my cousin, he was coming up from. I think he lived in the South during that time, but he was real into like hip hop just as much as anyone else. And I was just starting to find like my taste in music at that time. Like it was being developed at that time, and he was like, and he had it on bootleg. So he's like, "Yo, come here." So I came to the living room, and we sitting down, and he's just like, "Yo, watch this." And after I watched it, I was like, I want to do like whatever it is that they got going like in this. Like you see all the, I mean, in the future you learn that like, oh, that's hip hop, oh, that's Lenny S. Like you
Word.
start like Googling and researching. But at the time I was just like, this just looks cool. Like I want to be a part of this. So it definitely started from there. And then as I got older, I would like deep dive and research for like hours, like going and looking at credits. Like just my curiosity peaked during that adolescent age. So.
Credits was my shit too.
Yeah,
I would
bro.
read every book and the CDs, all that shit.
That's why,
Yeah.
like, I still get physicals now. Like my desk, like I have a whole bunch of books that I like, a bunch of DVDs that like I grew up on, and my CDs.
You
is
still
just
buy
right there.
CDs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, I don't do that no. I only buy vinyls now if it's music.
not CDs like now, but like CDs of albums that like I loved, like growing up.
So you'll buy an old CD now.
Yeah, I buy an old CD now. You know what I mean? Like
have-
the last CD I bought was Hell Hath No Fury. 'Cause I played that album.
Wow, I love that album.
Yeah, I played that album till it scratched.
Shit.
You know what I mean? Like so.
Word.
Yeah.
There's a massive CD collection in my crib.
Yeah.
Word?
Right
Yeah,
around Shining.
but it's not
Damn.
That was my shit. Right around Shining was my shit.
Word.
it's not all hip hop though. It's like old, like it's like my mom's and my stepmom's shit.
Oh, okay, for sure.
So I just be in there exploring and shit sometimes because you know we got the old bowls with the CD drawn in the middle.
Yeah.
So I just be throwing shit in, you know, checking it out. But yeah, no, CDs, like, CD is an era that came and went too fast, I feel like, because of fucking booklets and shit, bro. Like,
Yeah, it used to be crazy.
I've been in chicks' cribs who got, you know, the fucking posters of every fucking R&B nigga
Yeah, word.
you could think of. NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and
Yeah.
Omarion and all them niggas.
Yeah, Purple Haze just had an anniversary, right? Like,
Yeah.
I remember having a Purple
15
Haze.
years.
Yeah, I remember having a Purple Haze poster in my room and my mom ripping it down.
It came out December 7th. I remember I was in ninth grade,
Damn.
2004.
I always wonder how
Nice.
it felt like being in high school during that time. I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Purple
So-
Haze was the shit when that came out.
Word.
That was when that was like when Dipset was at its peak in
Word.
popularity, and like being in the Patterson area, like they were humongous in
Word.
Patterson
Didn't they
specifically.
They had the store, right?
They had the Dip Shack
Word.
down by
Yeah.
the courthouse downtown, and like Patterson is like nicknamed Little Harlem because of that shit,
Mm-hmm.
like because of the Dipset like phase and all that shit. Like if you see Fetty Wap's SoundCloud name, like the original, go to the domain,
Right.
it's like SoundCloud.com/Harlem Fetty. That's why, because he's from Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
And,
You know, yeah, that's
what it
true.
is, Little Harlem. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah, Purple Haze is nuts.
All right, so we got another question from Chioma. He wanted to know what has been your biggest obstacle so far on this journey through music and fashion? And
My biggest obstacle, man, just taking L's on the chin, bro. Like up until a couple of months ago, where I started getting opportunities, like
Word.
it was just like every place I applied to, just no. You know what I mean? Like getting those constant no's after a while, like it's just like it starts to wear on you. Like, damn, am I even good enough to even like be in this? Like, I know it's like best way I can compare is like, yo, I've been a second rounder my whole life, so I've constantly had to bust my ass to like be just as good as the top pick. You know what I mean? So when teams keep telling you no, but eventually you get that opportunity, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad I went with my gut. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I stuck it out. So, you know, just being constantly told no, it can like make you really question like your skill set and if you're even good enough to like be in this industry. But after a while, when you get that yes, you're like, okay, cool, it's confirmed.
That's
now.
all you need, that one yes.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact though, because it's been. I feel like I've been on this journey for what, like almost 10 years. Like I've been since like 2010. I would say in like just
about to be 10 years. Yeah.
graphic design and photography and all of this shit. And I done had so many projects that I wanted to get off the ground, and I was like, yo, this gonna be the one. This gonna be the one. It was never the one.
Yeah, it's a game of endurance, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
And this is the beginning.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You've been in 10 years, it's still in the
Facts.
beginning.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Yep, that's how it is.
And and like there's a saying that like 9 out of your 10 projects is not going to get off the ground.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you just got to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And I could definitely relate to that shit. God damn, bro. I'm just thinking back. I'm just thinking back to all the projects that like I was like, yo, or even just put money. Like, yo, I did a merch release, some long sleeves. First of all, my dumb ass did red long sleeves.
Red long sleeve.
Red long sleeves.
Wait, but just red?
yeah, just red.
Can't even watch
Shits
that.
did not. Shits did not sell, bro.
Because
Not
Red
so.
need its own laundry day.
Yeah.
Can't watch that with nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Spent like $700 on a whole drop. It was like it was a red long sleeve, like my distressed 93 caps, because this is when I first started doing 93, which has gone from art and design to merch and all of this. Like it was like the next step after Wavy since 93. And like, yo, I tried to do like a tote bag, a long sleeve, and hats, and like did the photo shoot and all of that.
Yeah,
That
the
shit
whole
ran,
thing.
Shit ran me up like $700, bro. And niggas just wasn't fucking with it. I was like, damn, yo. I didn't even know what to do, you know. I was just like, I
Yeah.
was like, damn, I just got to sit on this shit, you know.
Yep.
And I would wear it. I would wear the shirt whenever I could. But even myself, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm not wearing red every day. My
You got to
nigga,
wear
like,
a new one every day, too.
it was ridiculous. And it's not to say that I didn't get no shirts off. I didn't make zero sales, but you know, like I didn't.
It wasn't to the degree you thought.
Nah.
Nigga Mike got mad red shirts.
Yo, that box is sitting somewhere.
Yo, bro,
I don't know where that box is, but
that's
it's going.
so-
I'm not thinking about it no more.
That's so real, bro. Like when you get to a point where you're selling stuff and the box is just sitting there, like
Staring at
you just like, bro, staring at you like, bro, how do I get like this off? Because the thing with like I learned this like I forget. I think this who said it. It was James somebody, but I heard it on Jeff Staples. Nah, I heard it on Jeff Staples' podcast where he was like, "Yo, retail or like merch is like produce. Like it doesn't get better as it gets older. You know what I mean? Like it sits on the shelf like fruit. Like you got to get it off within a certain amount of time, or like once it reaches that like 4th week, 5th week,
Word.
it's kind of like that. It's probably just gonna sit there.
Yeah.
You just gotta take that on the chin. You know what I mean? So
Fuck it. Fuck that box. I'm looking forward. The next question from Chioma was as 2019 comes to a close. I mean, I guess this is my question too, but
yeah,
whatever. Fuck it. As 2019 comes to a close, like what's on the horizon for the next decade? You know, 2020 is a big year for a lot of people. I think for everybody. Everybody's just looking at this shit like, yo. I don't know. It's just something about it, like the way it looks. Yeah, 2020 looks, the way it sounds coming out of your mouth, like it being a new decade. Like it's just something powerful behind this next month that's coming up.
Man, that's tough for me to answer because I micromanage. Like I think short term first, and I plan by like weeks and months ahead instead of years. But I guess I could go with short term first. Definitely career, because right now, like the 300 thing has been like a huge opportunity and presented a lot more opportunities and avenues for me to go through. So definitely career in the music industry is like, that's number one. Like after I have like one more semester in school. So after that, it's kind of like I'm just going to hit the ground running full time. And also like expanding CMC, like you asked earlier, it's like expanding it more into a multimedia type of aspect. I have the podcast underneath that, Point Guard Mentality. You can search Point Guard Mentality on all streaming platforms for podcasts. But even that, in the first episode going well, doing the first episode with Corey Town, shout out to Corey. And then the second episode, like going well as like we were recording it, I was like, man, I could really build out a lane of just trying to like interview creatives that still speaks to like the core values of the brand, you know? So just trying to expand it outside of just clothing. Like clothing is cool, but it's really about like trying to provide a certain amount of like inspiration at the end of the day. Like money's important, and I recognize its importance, and I need a lot of it right now. You know what I mean? But it's never really been the driving passion for doing what I do. If it was about money, I would have been quit. You know what I mean? Like I was losing money trying to do what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? So like, it's really just about, you know, inspiring and motivating, trying to like instill a spark in other people what they hear, just trying to make art that makes other people's lives better, you know. So that's definitely what's on the horizon, and even getting to a point where I can pull other people up with me, you know what I mean? Like climbing the mountain and getting to the top is cool, but when you like look down and pull other people up to the top with you, it's like, that's love. You know, that's how your legacy begins, you know. Just like that Rockefeller tree, where they start with like, you know what I mean, from Dames, Jay, and Hove, and then they work their way down. It's like, that's all them pulling other people up. That's a wild
graphic, yo.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so many branches in that tree, bro. It's kind of like, I was kind of like, damn, I didn't even notice that many people were involved, like even when I was looking at it. So yeah, that's definitely what's on the horizon next, for sure.
Not definitely about when it comes to like micromanaging and like, you know, thinking about projects ahead of time, and it's the idea of speaking things into existence and just like putting it out there so you can know you can hold yourself accountable and moving in silence. So I definitely feel what you're saying in terms of that, because you know, I don't want to plan too far ahead and then think that everything is gonna just go smooth, because you know, life and shit.
Right.
But yeah, I just you know, I definitely feel you on that aspect.
I feel like you don't want to plan so far ahead. You know what I mean? Because that's how you get lost in the sauce. If those steps aren't riddled with details, it's kind of going to be tough for you to just accomplish that long-term goal without, like, you could say for the year I'm doing this, but you're probably going to have to do month by month, you know what I mean? So,
facts. You just need the proper resources.
Yeah, exactly.
In order for that level of productivity to be occurring in general.
Right.
But we're going to move on to the last listener question. This one is from Chinadu. Well, these two are from Chinadu. He said, what's the best / your favorite year for hip hop this decade?
This decade, man, that's a good question, bro.
It's a pretty hard question.
Yeah.
There's so many releases. Man, this decade, I don't know, bro. That's a good question.
And Dark Fantasy dropped in 2010, right?
Yeah.
That was a fucking crazy start to the decade.
Yo, you know what? 2011.
Overly Dedicated came out in 2010 too.
Word.
Was that 2010?
Yeah.
Section 80 was 2011.
2011.
You know what? Definitely
Dropped
2011.
July 2nd, 2011.
I feel like all those artists during that internet era had landmark projects during that year.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Was Friday Night Lights during 2011? Was that the album?
Friday Night Lights came out in 2010 also,
10?
I think.
10?
Yeah.
But I know, like, I was definitely Crip had a project that year that was special. Freddie Gibbs. Like, it was like a whole bunch of people back to back.
Oh yeah, Crit dropped like 3 projects during those years.
Yeah, so
And I think Take Care
really.
dropped in 2011
was
too.
that 2011 too?
Yeah.
Word.
Take Care.
I don't like it the way people do.
I don't either.
But it was
I don't either. That's
Word.
crazy.
Take Care.
yeah,
It just doesn't. It doesn't have the long lasting.
like the classic exclamation point.
Yeah,
that I
like-
always see about it. I just don't.
I don't get it, but
yeah,
I mean,
that shit had "proud of you" on it. Like
I think yeah,
Yes,
And
yeah.
conversation over for classic. I don't know what you talking about.
yeah. I think it's more of a nostalgia thing, honestly. But whatever.
Fake ass nostalgia.
Yeah, 2011 for sure.
And the other question was, what's the difference between a legend and an icon?
A legend and an icon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like that could be one and the same.
Word.
Like a legend and an icon is like, I don't know what really like distances those two. Like you can use those interchangeably. You know what I mean? Like there's this whole debate. Like probably talked to it when the mic was over about Nipsey not being a legend or an icon, but it's like.
That's not a debate. That's just a foolish
Yeah,
comment.
exactly.
So,
But like,
yeah.
how can you like? Let's say if we were to have that debate, it's like, how can you? This man sold. He was the first person to sell $100 album, $1,000 album, and both be incredibly successful. And even like things he did in his neighborhood, it's like, how can you not call that man a legend? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. You can't really. I don't think those two differ. I think they're one and the same. Like,
Honestly, when it comes to Nipsey, I think the music gets downplayed so much because of everything he did outside of the music.
That's a fact.
If you listen to his music, every fucking album is crazy.
yeah.
Every last one of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if he didn't do shit in the hood, if he didn't sell no albums for $100, $1,000, he did $1,000 one too.
Yeah.
He sold Mailbox Money for $1,000.
$1,000.
Sold
Word? I didn't even know that.
60 plus copies of that.
definitely remember that.
After he sold Crenshaw for $100, sold
Word.
over
I remember
1,000
that.
copies. So the music itself stands alone.
The music was.
He
definitely
has one of the best catalogs of the 2010 decade.
Yeah, I
for
think
sure.
a legend to me is like once they leave their mark, it's kind of like there's you can't like let's say we talked about Cameron, right? Like you can't like not talk about hip hop and not mention Cameron. Like he has
Cam's a
a
legend.
mark in you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to me, like the way I kind of like describe it is like if you looked at hip hop as a book, it's kind of like there's certain pages with certain people that contributed, and then some people have whole chapters. Like
Right.
there's a Nipsey chapter. You know what I mean? You don't
That's
just
a
skip
good
over
point.
that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah, true.
that's the way I would like describe it.
And the thing about Nipsey specifically is just that, like, if this nigga didn't make music, niggas in his hood would still remember him as a hood legend, like for sure. Like,
Yeah, that's
like it's
true,
like
too.
yo, you could subtract music from his influence, and he still has a lot to provide to his area.
Yeah, his
But,
stories are crazy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And if I had to differentiate between a legend and an icon, I think that an icon is probably more in the now, and a legend is more of a long term status. But most icons end up becoming legends anyway. So
Yeah.
whatever.
I think it's reversed.
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah, I think icon is used more for people who did it, done it, stopped doing it, probably dead,
Word.
like Babe Ruth, icon. Like
True.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, icon, but also legends too. But I think I think what Drew said was pretty accurate though.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like
like-
pretty interchangeable,
Yeah.
honestly. They really
It's just the slight difference is would just be in the way how it's used, like you just said. It's like
are. Yeah.
I find more people using icon for people that have like passed, like Michael Jackson's icon, Prince
Yeah.
icon. Like people, the thing is, like, if you called like Drake or Kendrick Lamar an icon, people would be up in arms. But if you
I
called
think
them a
you'd be
legend,
wrong.
yeah, people,
Yeah, so maybe icon
Yeah.
is like a half step higher.
yeah, you know
Because
what mean?
I do see the difference. Like Janet Jackson's an icon.
For sure.
Maybe Rihanna will be an icon, but right now she's
She's
a
a
legend.
legend.
Feel me?
Right.
Like,
I know I'm showing my age, but I was in a barbershop yesterday, and I didn't know that Janet Jackson was on Good Times. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
She was she somebody's girlfriend, right?
She was like she was somebody's.
Really? I thought she was a kid on the show.
Like, yeah, she was, but she was like one of
somebody's girlfriend. What show
She was like
from?
one of the younger characters' girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was like, holy shit! Like I had no idea. I mean, I knew she had a career in acting, but I didn't know it went back to fucking Good Times.
yeah.
Like holy shit. That's an important television show, but that's for another day. All right, I guess we could wrap here. We talked about CMC. We talked about 2-3 Zone. We talked about Litty Boyz. Pretty much covered everything. 2020 is coming in hot. Got a lot of opportunities on the way.
Yeah, for sure.
How about we plug our social medias?
Well, my personal is MN Park Legend. That's INMAN Park Legend on IG and Twitter. CMC, you can follow that on IG at championvision.us and on Twitter at Risky Champions. Litty Boyz is LITTY, boys with a Z, INTL on everything. And yeah, that's it. Look out for me. Look out for the homies that are part of the brand that are about to start doing things. CMC is going to have a big year. A lot more product releases, a lot more content attached to the brand. And yeah, that's it. Follow me. I be talking shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's it.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Mike History. Follow me on Instagram at Last Name History. Follow the show on Instagram at Versus Mike History. And I think that is all. We out of here.